So this function is this quadratic, this parabola is in vertex form. To find the vertex, we take the opposite of this number and this number. So it's -1, comma, -2. This number stays what it is. The only thing you take the opposite of is this. Because the format is x minus h. The axis of symmetry, this is not too hard. This is my x, this is my y. The axis of symmetry comes right from there. Once you have your vertex, you draw these little arrows, reminders, these are ways for you to remember this. Once you have your vertex, the line of symmetry goes right through that point. So if you know the x coordinate, you know the axis of symmetry. But don't just put -1, put x equals -1. The y-intercept, you clearly see right here. Again, when you make your table, you put a vertex in the middle, we back up a couple, we go forward a couple. But really, you really only have to back up a couple because these two mirror each other and these two mirror each other. That's why it's not filled in. 0, 0, you can tell right here, is both actually the y-intercept and x-intercept. And there's also another x-intercept right here. So we have two x-intercepts because this parabola is going through the x-axis. Now remember, if I had a parabola like that, does it have x-intercepts? No, it does not. It has no real solution. Okay. And my domain, left to right forever. So all real numbers. And my range, remember, we're not drawing a ceiling, we're drawing a floor. How low is the floor? It's at 2. I'm talking about -2. Okay? So it's down -2. So since we're going this way, we're greater than or equal to -2. Okay. Rewrite vertex form. So I'm going to go step by step in case you're watching this again later. Remember, we write x squared plus 2x. We leave a space. We move the -3 over. It becomes 3. And that space is critical. Then we do our little cheat shortcut. We take half of this number, which is +2, so it's going to be +1. Then we go by the square diagonally. And when we do that, that reminds us to square that number, which only is 1. Not a big deal. That gives me 4. When I bring it back over to that left side, it's going to be -4. The right side, depending on how you draw it. So we get x plus 1 squared minus 4. Therefore, the vertex is the opposite of this, -1, and this exactly, -4. Again, the vertex, the x-coordinate tells me the axis of symmetry. Number 3, find the slope. Y minus y over x minus x. Again, the reason I don't really get hung up on numbers of 2 and 1 is because you could do 3 minus 8 over -2 minus -5. It doesn't make a difference. Now, the most important thing here is the bottom number is not 7 or -7 because this becomes plus. When you subtract a negative, it becomes addition. And then -5 plus 2, you borrow $5, you pay back 2, you still owe $3, -3. But look, if you did the opposite direction, no big deal. You would have ended up with -5 on top, and at the bottom, +3. So either way, you still end up with a -5/3 slope. Which remember, when you're drawing, negative slope goes downhill. Okay, here are your two formulas for growth and decay. Growth obviously has a plus sign. Decay obviously has a negative sign. Because you're losing money or whatever. So, Bertha bought a shiny new red Corvette. Okay? This is the initial amount. That's the number goes out in front. Right there. A. What will a car be worth in 10 years? The 10 goes right there. That's my X. And the rate, don't forget, we didn't change that to 0.07. That goes right there. The keyword depreciates tells me to use the subtraction one, the decay model. So I have 43,000 times 1 minus 0.07, which is 0.93. $1, take away 7 cents, 93 cents. Please remember, do this first. Do not do 43,000 times 0.93. You do the exponent first. You take it to the exponent, whatever decimal you get, you take that times 43,000, which will give you 20,811.24. Please make sure you round this carefully. I will take off partial credit if you round it incorrectly. So if it's your round up or down, make sure you pay attention to that. Number 5. Okay? $215,000. That's my starting amount. A. The home values have been increasing. That tells me I'm going to use my plus formula. 3% a year, that's 0.03. How much will it be worth in 20 years? That's my X. Plug the numbers in, crunch it. It's going to go up to be about $388,313.92. Okay, what's happening? If we're starting off with the basic y equals x squared, which is, again, the classic parabola, a u. Okay? Well, my x squared is here, no parentheses, so there's no left or right movement. This 4 being plus just moves it up. Over here, the negative 1 moves it down, and the 2 makes it stretch. Like I said, I like to use the word narrower, whatever. But anyway, when it's stretched, it's being pulled thinner, right? Okay. So I think about, she's already pretty thin, but like Elastigirl on the Incredibles. So she's like this, but if you pull her and stretch her, she'd get really, really thin, even though she's already thin, because you're stretching her, so it would get narrower. All right. There used to be a toy back in the 70s, 60s and 70s called Stretch Armstrong, which was kind of more of a weightlifter, bulky dude. So be like this. Now when you stretch him, he becomes thinner, obviously. So just stretched means thinner. So narrower, stretched, whatever you want to put. Okay, so on this one, here's the x squared. What's happening to it? It's moving up 3. Now, some of you may have, it's a very common mistake, said, oh, fraction, it's wider. But this is an improper fraction. 5/4 is 1 1/4. Which means it's bigger than 1. So even though it's a fraction over 1, so it's stretched or narrower. Now if it was 4/5, then it would be wider. Because 4/5 is less than 1. Number 9. We have down 5. The 3 itself, just the 3, makes it stretched or narrower. And the negative sign reflects it or flips it. You can write either one. Reflected or flipped. Alright. Number 10. It says, I got 2 intercepts at -7 and 0. Boom, boom. Just put them there. And then it says, sketch it. Just generally sketch it. Now, this, how low this is, I don't know without doing the math on it. But I do know it should be right here about 3.5. And the trick is, you just add these two together and divide by 2. They're 7 apart. The axis is in the middle. So 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So the axis, it should be here. But you can put it down here, whatever. Just somewhere, something like that, I would accept. I'm just giving you a general sketch of it. Now, a vertex at -2, -4. That's right here. Now, how did I know for that one not to go up? Think about that.
Real solution.
Right, no real solutions. If I was going up, look what would happen. I would have 2 real solutions. So by saying no real solutions, that means it must be going away, running away from the x-axis. Now, don't take that to mean no real solution means upside down. Because if I said that my vertex was up here at, 7, 6, and I said no real solutions, then it would be up here, going positive. So that has nothing to do with positive or negative. It just means if it's got solutions, it's going to intercept the axis. If it doesn't have solutions, it's kind of going away from the axis.
Is it only x-axis or is it like only y?
No, it's only the x-axis.
Okay.
When you talk about a quadratic, you're talking about the x-intercepts. The solutions are the x-intercepts.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 12. It says, shouldn't be too hard to figure this out. It says right. It says right here. Use the quadratic formula. So you use the quadratic formula. X equals opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right? So you fill in the numbers, but your first step should always be to identify a, b, and c. So my a is 1, b is 4, and c is -21. This is a good way to get partial credit, showing work. Identifying a, b, and c is the best first step you can do. Okay? You can write it like that, or you can write it, like that, side to side, whatever. Then you just put your numbers in. Okay? When you crunch your numbers here, you end up with 100 underneath. The square root of 100 is 10. So you're going to do 2 problems. You're going to say -4 plus 10 divided by 2, and -4 minus 10 divided by 2. Please do not make the mistake of dividing this thing by 2. You don't divide by 2 until the very last step. You take care of everything on top. That's why when we say the formula, it's all over 2a. That's the last thing. So my 2 points are -7, 0, and 3, 0. -7, 0, and 3, 0. Because 10 minus 4 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3. And this is -14 divided by 2, which is -7. Did I say -7 or 7? Okay, so -7, 0, and 3, 0. All right. You can just look at these, or you can off to the side say, hey, what's my m? It's -2. What's my m? 1/2. Now, are those the same? No, they're not the same. So they can't be parallel. So we know it's not parallel. Remember, perpendicular is opposite and reciprocal, flipped. So first off, you got to have one positive, one negative. We've got that. Is 2 over 1 the flip of 1 over 2? It is. Therefore, 13 is perpendicular. Because they have one positive, one negative, and 2 and 1/2 are reciprocal with each other. Now this one's tricky. M equals 2/5. M equals -2/5. Well, it's neither. It can't be parallel because they're not the same. Yeah, they are. They're both 2 over 5. No. One's positive 2 over 5. One's negative 2 over 5. Think about it. Negative slope, positive slope. Definitely not parallel. Alright? So it's neither. Why is it, if I have one positive, one negative, why isn't it perpendicular? Because they're both 2 over 5. One of them would have to be 5 over 2, or negative 5 over 2. And then this one's pretty cut and dry. M equals 1, M equals 1, so they're parallel. Okay. To find when it will hit the ground, you need the intercepts. You need the solutions. You need to find where it hits 0. Now, it's not going to hit 0 behind you before you shot it. It's just going to hit 0 after you shoot the ball. Or throw the ball, or hit the ball, whatever. Shoot the ball here. So, you need to find when it hits 0. You need to factor, but this one doesn't factor nicely. Okay? So, the easiest thing to do is identify A, B, and C. A is negative 3, B is 12, C is 4. And you're going to plug those into the quadratic formula again. When you do that, you have the opposite of B. B squared, 4AC, 2A. You end up with the square root of 192. Well, then you take negative 12 plus, I think it's 13.85, 13.9 over 2, and negative 12 minus 13.9 over 2.
Oh, we did that wrong here.
Now, when you do those two, you're going to get two answers. You're going to get negative 0.31 and 4.31. Well, remember, you can't go back in time. Okay? So therefore, that is not a possible answer. So my answer is in about 4.3 seconds. Okay, number 17 is very easy. It says, where will the ball be in 1 second? All you do is take this 1 and plop it in for x in the original formula. So 1 squared is 1, times negative 3 is negative 3. 1 times 12 is 12, and plus 4 just stays. Crunch the numbers, you get 13. So it's 13 feet. Now, this is one way to do it. We talked about the shortcut of, it's going to be halfway in between. But most of us in here probably did the opposite of B over 2A. Okay? So, the opposite of B. Opposite of B over 2A equals 2. Now, I just want to point out, if this is the one answer, that's the one point of x-intersection, and this is the other one. If you add them together and divide by 2, you get 2. So it's just a different way of doing it. Now, once you have the 2 seconds, just like we put 1 in, we're going to put 2 in. And when we put 2 in, it's going to be negative 3 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2, 12 times 2 plus 4. Well, 2 squared is 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Plus 24 plus 4. 24 minus 12 is 12, plus 4 is 16. So, in 2 seconds, it will hit a height of 16. And then it starts falling back down to the ground. Okay. So, this is a good way to show partial credit also. Let's say you graph this wrong. If you show me M and B, or even if you wrote M here and B here, that's a good way to show partial credit. So my m is -3/5. And my b is -3. So here's my starting point. And I go down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 5. Or up 3, left 5. And then I connect the dots. Now remember, check your work. Okay? I have a -3/5 slope, so my slope should be going down to the right. My name should be going downhill. X equals 5. Well, let's finish this one, sorry. X equals, on this one. So, what's my slope and my y-intercept? I got it right here. And my y-intercept and b are the same thing. The x-intercept, I already found, is right there, -5, 0. Okay? And that doesn't apply to this one. 21. Careful. X equals 5. Some of you might have done this. Okay? Very common mistake is to do that. But here's the thing. Remember, if you get this confused, it's not a big deal. X is 5. X is always 5. And just make up some points. And when you do that, you'll get 5, 0, 5, 1. Oh, that's right. It's a vertical line. You don't have to memorize it. You just have to use your brain and a little common sense. If x is 5, x is always 5. Make up some points. If y is 3, y is always 3. So that will be 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3. So, important. A vertical line does not have a slope. Think about it. If you went to a ski slope, and the ski slope was like this, can you ski down that? No. All you can do is fall, because there's no slope to ski on. That's why the answer to this is there's no slope. Now, horizontal line, this one, that does have a 0 slope. Think about being on a treadmill. When you first get on it, what's the incline say? 0, because it's flat. So you can walk. That slope is 0. But you can't walk up the wall. Okay? That's Spider-Man. It has no x-intercept. So there's no x-intercept. I'm sorry, I got that one. X-intercept is 5, 0. That was written there. Sorry. The y-intercept doesn't have one, because it's never going to cross y. And it is a vertical line, so we circle that. Alright, cover-up method. Now, the thing is, on this one, you have two choices. You have two choices. You could move the 3x over and then divide everything by 2. You can do that. And then you have y-intercept of 6, 3/2 slope. Negative 3/2 slope. You can do that. Or you can do the cover-up method. Cover-up method means cover that up. Y is 6. Well, think about it. If I do the cover-up method, if I covered up x, I put a 0 in for x. Now I cover that up. Well, now I cover up the y, and I got 4. That's my 2 dots right there. I connect the dots, and I have my line. Now, what's my slope? It's negative 3/2. Now you might go, but this short. If I do the cover-up method, I don't have the slope. You're right. But watch. If I know 1 point's here, 1 point's here, I just count. 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2 right. That's negative 3/2. My y-intercept, I've got right there. I can get that from the cover-up method. So that's there and there. My x-intercept, I got that from the cover-up method, or doing the slope, 4, 0. This doesn't apply. Hey, look at that, horizontal line. Y equals -5. This does have a slope of 0. Y-intercept would be the same thing. It does not cross the x-axis. And That's a horizontal line. All right, please pay attention. I want to go a little bit beyond this. We talked about this in the other class, but let's look at this. First off, just think about this cloud of this stuff, okay? Think about a fly strip. So you have a fly strip, you pull it out, take the wrapping off, it has that funky smell to attract flies. You hang up the fly strip, all the flies come to the fly strip because it smells good and then they get stuck. Okay? When you first put up that fly strip, it might look like this one right here, where they're all really tight and close to the strip. But over time, they start kind of like coming in and flying away. It's not exciting. But that might be something like this, where they're kind of all buzzing around all over the place.
It's raining.
Okay? So, first off, there's two things to talk about. Here you're just asking positive or negative. This is clearly a positive slope. This is a negative slope. Positive slope, negative slope. But there's one other topic we need to talk about, which will be on the test. I'm telling you right now. Hint, hint. Please listen. This correlation ranges from 1 to -1. Okay? The closer it is to the extremes, the stronger it is. The closer it is to 0.5 in the middle, the weaker it is. So think about it. If I told you that there was a 90% chance of something happening, or there was a 50% chance of something happening, which would you believe in? The 90%. This is closer to 1. Okay? Negative just means there's a 90% chance of it not happening. So negative 0.9. So here's the thing. If I was going to look at these, this is like right here. That's really, really close. So I would say, look how close it is. I might say this one has a correlation of 0.95. Okay, it's really up there. I'm sorry, negative. My bad. Negative 0.95. Now this one over here, man, flies aren't coming around as close anymore. This might only have a negative 0.76. Okay? Should be writing this down. This is important. I'm telling you this is going to be on the test. So not only do you need to know negative positive, you need to be able to just, I'm not going to have you calculate the numbers, but you've got to be able to recognize. If I give you a choice, and I said, okay, one of those is negative 0.95, one of those is negative 0.76. You got to be able to distinguish. The one that's closer to the strip is the number closer to 1 or negative 1. Same thing here. I might say, you know, this is pretty close, but maybe this is a positive 0.87. Whereas this one might be a positive 0.78. Okay? It's all about how close it is to the line.